This video will introduce you to the Circuit Playground Express, which is the device we'll use for programming all kinds of things in this class. It has a wide variety of programming options. They begin with very simple block-based programming. You can get a light blinking or any kind of motion servos that turn and move things. You can get those programmed really easily. It's a pretty small device, so it fits on a lot of different things you build. We'll look at it a little bit more. It has the first thing you always see is the RGB or NeoPixel lights, as they call them, which you can turn on and off and make blink in all kinds of patterns. That's a real simple way to start out. There's a bunch of pins around the outside. This is where we can connect to motors and servos and turn other things on and off. So it really animates a lot of the mechanical things we make in this class using those pins. And we use alligator clips to connect them to start. And they're pretty easy to connect and make work. Let's look a little bit more about the Circuit Playground Express, kind of the overview of all the different pins and what's on it. So there's an overview here I wanted to get to. Where did that go? Guided tour. So the guided tour has a description of it. The link to this site is in your Canvas, so you can look for the guided tour. We are using a version of this called the Express. There's a classic and there's a new Bluetooth version, but we have these, so we'll learn about them. This is what's on them. There are regular micro USB. The old phone chargers fit these, and they plug into your computer or Chromebook, and you can program them. Once they're programmed, they'll just run without the computer if you plug in a battery. And we have small little LiPo batteries we can plug in here. They'll also run off of AA batteries using a different connector. Lots of different sensors and other output devices. So you've got your NeoPixels, which are the RGB lights that are around here. You've got a temperature sensor, so it'll measure temperature. You've got two buttons that you can press, and then there's a microphone that picks up speech and other sounds. There's a little switch here you can turn in one or another position. It has a little speaker. It's not a very good speaker, but you can connect an external speaker that sounds a little better to it. It has a light sensor. They don't have it on this one, but there is a way for it to communicate with infrared. There it is, IR in and out. So we can actually talk to another one of these using the infrared, kind of like a remote control for your TV. There are 14 connections, and there's information about these. We'll learn about how to connect them. And let's go back here. So as I said, it gets power through the micro USB connector, which is just a regular USB connector for your computer. I said the JST, that's the type of connector. It's a JST connector, and it can run on an external battery pack up to 6 volts. So I believe our LiPos are 3.3. Or the AA batteries, and then here's where you connect your alligator clips. This is actually I guess the brain of the operation, as they call it. This is the Cortex Microcontroller, and this is storage for you can store 2 megs of data, so you can put MP3 files to play music, store data that it collects. Some basic LEDs that tell you what's going on. I mentioned the speaker. I'll just kind of cruise through these. There's the light sensor. You can learn about all these: temperature, microphone, motion. It does have what's called capacitive touch, which means you can just touch these pins and they will pick up your finger. And that's kind of like how a touchscreen microwave or a stove or something might work, or a device that you just touch it without having to press. I mentioned the switches and buttons, the infrared for like your remote control. So pinouts, this is a little overwhelming at first, but we will go through lessons that will explain this all to you. So, the pins can be programmed as what are called inputs and outputs. They can be digital or analog, on or off, or send out a varying signal. So if you want things to move faster or slower, like speed control, they can do that as well. Power, these devices have a power output. This is for powering other devices like a servo or another light, LED, or something else you plug into it. We'll explain the difference between 3.3 volt and V out. And these are used, like I said, for other devices you connect. And then input and output. Those are the pins for input and output. And there's of course a limit to how much you can power with these. So we'll talk about what, if you need more power, how do you do that? I'm not going to go into these right now, but we'll learn about those. And that's basically all I wanted to say to get you started with this device. We'll do some programming first before we connect anything to it, to learn basically how the programming works, because that's what enables you to turn on these pins, as they're called. All right, thanks for watching.